Mid-America Truck Show. We got Dean Crook with a little bit of a market update for you today on SalesChatter. Gentlemen, how are we today? Dean, you're out in this beautiful, sun shining, ready to go. Got a bunch of these cool trucks behind you. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's we jokingly say Mid-America Truck Show here in Louisville, you'll see 4 seasons in one week. I've seen all 4 seasons this week already. I've been windburnt, sunburnt, frozen to the core. We had snowflakes. Now we've got beautiful sunshine, so which is a relief because today's the last day for prep before we have to put what they call rags down. Rags down means you can't touch your truck again until the judges do the judging. So I've been here since Saturday. I was the first truck here, but a lot of these guys have been in here for 2 or 3 days, as we'll see when we walk around. They're deep into preparations, wiping. There were guys out yesterday with cotton buds. They kid you not, with cotton buds. Is that what you call them here, cotton buds?
What's that?
The things you clean your ears with. What are they called here? Q-tips.
Oh, Q-tips. Yeah.
Q-tips. Yeah, it's a bit like.
I gotta write that one down.
Yeah, it's a bit like the parking lot. I call it a car park or something. Anyway,
and we call it a parking lot.
Yeah. So here they had Q-tips out.
Calls his garage a garage.
Yeah. So they had the Q-tips out yesterday, and they were underneath the truck, Q-tipping around all of the bolts. Cleaning under the fenders. They do a thing called clocking the wheels. Clocking the wheels means you've got to jack up each axle and make sure that the lettering on the top of each wheel align. So if they're more Michelins, the Michelin has to be at dead center at 12 o'clock on every tire around the truck. And if your tires aren't clocked, you lose points. So
that's what
just
I call
so you know.
anal.
Yeah, I've never clocked my tires ever, and I'm not about to start
today.
That
is serious, man. So, Dean, for everybody that's watching and listening, that might not know, what is the Mid-America Truck Show about? What is the purpose of it, and what is the end result that you usually see from it?
So this is a global event. There's people from Australia, people from Japan. My good friends from Australia are here for the 3rd year with the booth, with their bag that they've designed for truckers. It's got a showerproof section at the bottom. So that means that you've got a lot of vendors that come to this event, and they have a booth set up, maybe an 8x10 or a 30x30. And a lot of the booths are designed for sales and marketing. Keep in mind, there'll be 70,000 people comes through the doors here over the next 3 days, Thursday through Saturday. So it's a great event from a marketing perspective. A lot of the big OEMs, the truck and trailer and engine manufacturers, and all of the people that make accessories will be here releasing their latest product. So it's also an opportunity for this year's releases. As soon as you get into spring, they have the opportunity to get out to the shows and show everybody what their new equipment looks like. So it's a truck show, but it's really more than a truck show. It's really a truck show for vendors as much as anything. And where I am here with all of these show trucks, this is kind of if I show you this truck here. This is sort of a serious flatbedder from Alabama. They come here. So from the truck side of it,
red carpet. Look at that.
Well, they have to roll out the red carpet for the Black Tire Fair, which is the name of the truck. But the point of this is for a lot of these truckers here. This is the coming out for a lot of their new trucks that will then go to work, and they come here to market their trucks and their company. And if they can win an award, that provides huge PR advantage for them in the market. Sure. So you'll see a lot of companies bring trucks here for the very first time, haven't hauled a load, but they'll win a prize and then they'll hit the road. So you only see that.
I got a question for you. Behind you, that mint green truck, what kind of tanker is that on the other side of that?
That's Tri-State. Nice. Yeah, Tri-State. That's Massey Motor Freight from Carthage, Texas. Massey Motor Freight run livestock, heavy haul. They also do a lot of vacuum work, but this is an oil field tanker for all the oil field liquids, Jeff.
Wow.
Nice.
And you can see, so they're still in the prep stage.
You don't see that around up here, that's for sure. Look at that. Yeah. Man.
That is a slick-looking piece of machinery, eh?
That is, isn't that? Yeah. That's a standout right there.
Look at these bottom hoppers and tankers and fridge vans. So
Do they
that
really
red.
use those trucks? I mean,
Oh yeah,
seriously.
absolutely. So these are work trucks. Yeah, these are work trucks. There's no question about it. But this red tanker here is called Bocephus, and that's the name of the
I
truck.
love
It
the
was here.
Punisher logo on it too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it won
Boy,
some
I thought
awards
I
here
was
last year.
Yeah, I thought I was bad cleaning my car. I can't even imagine how much time
Right.
it takes to clean a rig from
Well,
nose to tail.
here's a working light bottom floor trailer. This one's a worker, right?
Damn.
And, right, look at the shine on these things. And here's another triaxle spread
Look at
axle
that.
trailer. So
Sweet.
these are work trucks. You can tell they're work trucks because they're not, they've got
Really?
marks on them. Yeah, yeah. This is a beautiful reefer combo. You can see they bring all their gear with them. There's another reefer combo here.
Truck. Look at that, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now here's the
Oh, look at
notorious.
that livestock. Yeah, look at that, man.
This is the notorious pig.
Woo.
This is the notorious PIG. I don't know what PIG stands for, but this is a beautiful Peterbilt. You can see them up the front
Look
there
at that.
cleaning them. Hey, but you've heard about chicken lights? You know what chicken lights are?
No.
No.
So chicken lights are when you see a light, you can see a livestock trailer coming a mile away because they have all of these lights down the side, across the top, down the bottom. They're called chicken lights. Whenever you put lots of lights on a trailer, they're called chicken lights. So let me show you the chicken lights on this thing. You can see he's doing some repairs here on this one. But have a look at the chicken lights.
Shit, man, those are how
Holy and you know what?
Damn.
If one of those bulb goes out, it just ruins the whole look.
Look at that.
Well, it's also a violation because if you have one light out, they're pulling you over.
That's true. Yeah.
So the good news though is with the LEDs that are low amperage draw, you don't have bulbs anymore, so
Right.
they don't blow as much. But have a look underneath this trailer here. Have a look at the bumper.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh, the bumpers are even lit up.
Look at
That is
that,
crazy.
That is nuts.
So
Yeah,
how
so-
long does it take them to buff that shine in on the side of that trailer? That's got to take
Days.
forever.
Days.
Well, let's have a look inside.
Oh my gosh.
They don't use that. No way.
They're the cleanest cattle on the planet.
Wow.
That they yeah.
They must diaper up all the cattle before it goes in there because I'd be pissed if one of them took a crap.
Diaper, yeah, they diaper them up. Yeah, definitely.
Look at that engine.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, so these trucks, I'm not sure about that trailer whether it works or not, but a lot of these other trucks around here are all working trucks.
Absolutely insane.
This is a Hunter Contracting here. He's a heavy hauler. This truck works all the time. You see it on internet. He's a family car hauler. Mum and dad and the kids are here cleaning and waxing. This one here is a heavy hauler from Mystic, and you can tell that's the coil trailer. Those short trailers haul coil.
Look at that, man. That's a nice extended. What is that? That's a Peterbilt, right?
Yeah, it's a Peterbilt with a big extended bunk. He's got the suicide
that's
doors
nice.
that open out the front.
That's
See,
sweet.
these are suicide
Look at
doors.
that, man. Are you sure that thing runs?
Look at that stick shift. That is super cool.
That is so
Isn't it?
nice.
I'm going to show you a truck over here that's got a gear shifter that's a shotgun, and the second gear shifter is a six-shooter.
Oh, I love that.
So this is
Cowboy
Cody Davis. This is Cody Davis. He's driven all the way from Wyoming with this truck. It's called Mojito, but he hauls cattle all the time. He's the real deal. Beautiful truck. This thing is just spectacular.
Look at that, man.
But when he's not here,
Diamond tuck, leather interior. Damn.
Yep. When he's not here, he's hauling cattle. So that's the sort of this is so people come from all over the country for this event. There's a couple of guys from California here. A lot of family businesses that aren't, So here's the thing: a lot of people say there's no money in trucking. Well, if you come here, you'd say clearly there's a lot of money in trucking. It's just not a lot of money in freight. Now there's a big difference, right? Because a lot of these guys are niche operators. Like here's SBD Trucking. This is easy money, but he's got a massive sleeper, and you can see he's a heavy hauler. He's got his heavy haul trailer down the back.
Yeah.
He's got another truck up the front that we might not get to. It's called 777, but it's got Career Gambler written all over the steps.
So
But
let me ask you this, right? So all these guys that are driving in from all over the country, they're spending an astronomical amount of money in fuel by itself. Now the time and labor that they put into each vehicle is numerous. Do they win? Do they win awards like monetary awards, or are they just showing their trucks, as you said, for PR purposes and marketing to gain extra business?
This is just pride. For some people, though, it's bragging rights. For a lot, though,
Right,
that are
ego.
very serious, it's
Yeah.
about winning an award. They want to win an award. They are serious about winning an award. There are others here, like Phyllis and Daniel Snow in the Goose, and you can see all the Goose here at the front.
Look at that.
This is a 1996 Freightliner. Now they live in this truck, but they work for the Bennett companies out of Atlanta, Jeff. Right, the Bennett family
Look at
company.
That is
man.
a serious
That
sleeper.
is a
Like,
serious-
holy crap,
that's
it's
a
bigger than my
serious
bedroom.
setup. I know. Look at that, man.
So they come to all the events. So you'll see Phyllis and Daniel Snow with the Goose. That's the truck, the Goose. They'll be at every truck show all over the country. So they're not, these are people that you don't have to haul freight on the spot market necessarily. They've obviously done well, but they've been at it for 30 or 40 years. That's the big difference. And you see a lot of really
Wowzer.
cool.
Oh,
So
there
Jeff,
it is. I love that cab over, man. That Kenworth right there. It's a Kenworth, right? The cab over.
That's the old Freightliner. Look at that.
Oh, Freightliner. Look at that.
Yeah. Yep.
That looks like Optimus Prime.
Yeah, it does, right? Look at that thing. Oh, I drive that like in a second. Are you serious? Come on,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
I love the old. I love the old stuff, man. Love it. Look at that.
Look at how
Come
shiny
on.
that is. My lord.
Who has a chrome tail shaft?
Man.
He does.
He does. I've got to show you the
Yeah.
truck with the 6 shooters. But so to answer your question, a lot of these guys come here for the pride, for the fun, the camaraderie. A lot of guys just come here for the week to catch up with old friends. So out behind me, out over the back here, there's a bunch of trucks parked that aren't in the show, but they're just owner-operators, independent contractors, even drivers. Most of the drivers in company trucks will be here Saturday. But a lot of guys just come here, park their trucks, and it's just a week-long party where it's one of the only opportunities they get to catch up with all their buddies. So it's a social event as much as it is for the really serious guys here. But the guys that come here, like this is the amount of work it takes to put into preparing a show truck is disproportionate to the length of the show. There have trucks that have been in their workshops for a month getting ready for this event. So
Wow.
it's a lot of effort. There's just so much money gets spent on this, and you've got to thank Brian Martin from the Chrome Shop Mafia for starting this off way back in 2000 with Trick My Truck. That's how it all started. The whole
That's
customization
very
industry.
cool. Well, I can believe it because if they buffer it up and then drive it there, I mean, you got all the road gunk and everything, and to have a tailpipe as shiny as that's a lot of work afterwards.
Snow, salt, all that stuff.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Ah,
Well, I spent a week on mine, right? And then it rained in the last 100 miles getting in here.
okay,
So
Dean, listen.
Yeah.
You've shown everybody else's truck. Let's go to Grumpy Pete. Come on, man. Show her off.
Undercover.
Let's go. Oh, look at that.
All right. Yeah, last truck, last one. I just asked this guy, hey, what year model's your Freightliner? This is a 1995 Freightliner. Have a look at this. This is an FLD? Yeah. FLD. This is a classic. This is a beautiful Freightliner. You can't see too much here, but this is a classic Freightliner. One of the very early models.
Yeah.
Yep. So here's the truck called Twister. And this is the one with the shifters. I did a post this morning called Twisted Shifter. And here it is.
My truck.
That is
That's it.
super cool.
That has the bodacious cowboy signature all over it. Are you serious? Come on now.
So this truck, this is a 1970 model 358M Peterbilt. This truck has been rebuilt. It's hauled cattle its entire life, and it's just been rebuilt into what you see now. The guy that owns it's got emphysema really bad, and he had to sell the truck. So this guy has built the truck. A lot of it's built in his honor. So he's really here to see if he can win an award for his buddy who owns that truck. Now, if you like cab over Freightliners, Jeff, here's one here. These are real old Freightliners.
Oh.
Here's my favorite Freightliner. This guy hauls chemicals. This is a work truck, and he hauls chemicals around Chicago and Ohio all the time for Hilco.
Look at that, baby. Oh, look at that, man. I mean, when you drive one of those things, I mean, you literally look down, you're looking right at asphalt. There's no nose, there's nothing. It feels like you're part of the road.
Cab overs are a lot of fun. You got to get used to them. And so here's the other part of Massey Motor Freights. They brought the carpet in, right? They bring the carpet in on reels with a forklift, and then you've got
on that baby.
and have a look over here. This is the McQuinney truck with the boat. This is the black tie affair. They're cleaning around the stump plug nuts.
This guy.
Touch up paint. Looking good.
Looking good.
Looking good. But I want you, the light show tonight will be spectacular. Underneath they've got lights.
Look at that, man.
Wow.
Looks like it just came off the assembly line.
Yeah. Oh, look who's here.
Hey,
look at this one. Look at this bad boy. But hey, look at my competition next door.
Oh. There we go.
There's Grumpy Pete.
There it is.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a smudge on the grill there, Dean.
Yeah, I missed a bit. That's the favourite line here. Everybody walks past and says, "You missed a bit." You say, "Get lost." I've been at it for 5 days. So that's the tour.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
The inside of this is probably just as entertaining because that's where there's probably another 40 or 50 show trucks inside at vendor booths. So Dan, back to your question, like Rockwood Products or Dynaflex exhaust pipes, they'll have someone's working truck cleaned up, polished, waxed, buffed, and inside the building at a booth. So inside that building behind me in the south wing, that is full of trucks and trailers, as shiny as you can imagine, and people are there promoting all of their products. So it's a truck show. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of social events. There's a lot of music, a lot of entertainment, a lot of miles, a lot of BS. Like the miles get longer and the stories get wilder as the years go on. So, but it's a lot of fun. I love coming here. It's hard work. Like there's nothing to drop for these owner operators here. The opportunity cost of being off the road is easily 10 grand in a week. So these guys are running 10 grand a week trucks. Probably
so
more.
This is like a vacation for them, in other words.
Exactly, yeah, and like a working vacation. So it's a costly affair for owner operators. But if you love the industry, you can understand why. These are passionate career professionals. These are what I call lifers. Yeah. This is not a job; it's a career. But it's kind of the pointy end of the stick here because this is where success is. If you've been really successful in trucking. And you're stuck at it long enough and you've been broke a few times and skinned a lot of knuckles, this is where you end up. So you don't end up here by chance because a lot of people will criticize people that come here. You know, they call my truck a pavement princess. And, and it's kind of a little bit of an insult because it underestimates what it took to get here. My truck's done 750,000 miles. It worked hard all its life. But I've spent 10 years rebuilding it on my own.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people that criticize, you'll never find another independent contractor, owner, operator criticizing. It's mostly people that don't own their own truck will be sort of throwing brickbats at you. God, is that another Australian expression, brickbats?
Yeah, never heard that.
Never heard that, but I assume it's throwing rocks.
Well, brickbats, it's like I don't know, insulation bats.
Yeah,
you put in your roof. Well, imagine them. Anyway, clearly too many Australianisms today. So that's the show. Light show tonight. Judging starts tomorrow. Everybody relaxes tomorrow and then just walks around the pavilion for 3 days. Most people are flying in today and then leave Saturday. Big music show Saturday night.
So it actually starts tomorrow through Saturday or today?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. Well, judging to the light show is tonight. So if you've got lights at dusk, everyone turns their trucks on, puts all their lights on, the judges walk around. So when you enter your truck, you enter the category you want to be judged in. So I'm a limited bobtail and interior because I've got a pretty flash interior. Other trucks enter lighting. Others just do cab. Others do working combo. Others do limited mileage combo. So there's a lot of categories. There's about 70 different categories you can enter your trucks in here. So it really depends on your specialty.
Let me ask you this, because I know with show cars they do this. Are there any trucks like old Macs from the 60s and 50s that are brought in there on flatbeds?
Yes. Yeah, there'll be one inside, Jeff, that's a chain-driven Mac.
Wow.
It's a 1905 model or something like
really?
that. So
Wow.
I'll have a bunch of videos there up on my Instagram channel next week once I go inside here, once the judging's over.
Listen, does anybody have any Brockmans there?
Brockways?
Brockways, yeah, Brockways.
No, I haven't seen any Brockways here. They're mostly going to be
That's a rare vehicle.
At the American Historical Truck Society booth, there probably will be some. They're inside behind me. I'll have a look for those. But Jeff, there's a whole, the AHTS have a whole circuit of truck shows throughout the year, the Historical Society. And I've started to go to those because I just find them more interesting to help relive the history, because there's a lot of truckers that are old timers that, you know, they're even struggling to get around in golf carts and wheelchairs now because they're getting on. And a lot of us that are a little bit younger are trying to help keep the industry's memories alive. So we're trying to support the Historical Society because there's a whole bunch of baby boomer guys that are just sort of at the tail end of this, and there isn't enough new people coming through to help keep the memories of what trucking was like in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s alive.
I don't think people love it as much as they used to back in those days. I honestly think it's not for the majority of people entering it now, it's not a career, it's a job. It's just something
there's not
to
a
make
lot
some
of
money.
Well, and the other thing is that it's got to do with family migrations. You've got a lot of kids that have grown up in family businesses that have elected not to go and drive a truck or not to work on a farm, and they've moved to a city. I've got my cousins in Australia. They have some of the finest merino sheep in the world that produce like 11 micron wool that sets the record for the price for a bale of wool. Like, these are $1 million bales of wool, and they grow them on their farm where we're from in Australia. But the kids don't want any part of it, because farming 6,000 sheep is hard work. They don't want anything to do with it. But I do want to show you this bad boy. This is a pretty cool truck.
I like the color.
Love the combo colors.
Yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
a Florida truck. It's got a real Optimus Prime look to it, but I can't.
It
I think
does.
it is, might be. Yeah.
That's
Large
beautiful.
car,
That is beautiful.
large cars mafia.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so a lot of cool trucks here. I've seen this truck on Instagram for a long time. It's good to actually see it in person. But a lot of work goes into these.
That looks really nice. Like, wow.
A lot of people
really look at that.
A lot of people are bagging their front ends. They're putting airbags under the front ends, which I need to do to make it a bit smoother. So
that's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
What else can I tell you?
Dean, you're gonna have to keep us updated on get us some pictures and stuff of the light show tonight, and keep us updated on that.
Yeah. So in our remaining time, this has been great to be able to walk around and do this. But freight market news. I could give you a quick update. There's a definite sense that the freight market is starting to flatten out, bottom out. Volumes are starting to pick up for dry van and flatbed, dry van and flatbed in particular. Reefer, not so much. Spot rates excluding fuel have been essentially flat for about 3 or 4 weeks. Now, I find that really interesting because that 3 or 4 weeks has spanned the end of a month and the start of the month. So there's a definite sense that spot rates have been bottoming out and starting to rise. Talking to some of our brokers, they're starting to see some upward pressure. That's consistent with the exodus of capacity that we've been reporting on in the last month. We're seeing, there's a significant exodus of capacity still going on, but it's not nearly as much as what we've seen in past years. So there has to be a point where capacity, is less than demand, and we're in that seasonal lift in volume right now and coming into spring. So there's a sense we've reached the bottom of the market. Jeff, I was interested in our contract rate data that came out yesterday. When I look at active rates in routing guides, they've been flat for 2 weeks. So that's the average of all of the rates used repetitively in routing guides. If you remember last year, they were coming down at minus 12 to 15% week over week. They've flattened out. Now, what that tells me is, I'd love to get your thoughts on it, because replacement rates are coming in flat also. what that tells me is that if replacement rates new rates in routing guides are coming in flat for the last month, it tells me that they were based on RFPs negotiated late last year when the market was bottoming out. They're entering routing guides now. And so what we're seeing is a sense that the contract rate market is also bottoming out. And when I say bottoming out, I think I should be careful there. There'll still be some downward movement for sure, but the rate of decrease is certainly slowing down on the contract side. And it looks like spot rates are starting to definitely bottom out with some signs that seasonality could cause that lift. You can hear the plane in the background. I'm under the flight path for Worldport, which is UPS's largest package handling facility in the world. Yeah. So I have a 747 come in from Ho Chi Minh City last night, and he lifted the roof off our hotel. He came in so low. So yeah, there's a lot happening here in Louisville, other than the brutally cold weather. So yes, flatbed's doing pretty well. Dry van's picking up. Reefer's still in a little bit of a slump. The produce volumes nationally are back to about plus 2% year over year. So so they have caught up. Our worst fears about the produce season in Salinas didn't materialise because the rains didn't affect them that much. So there's been a catch up in produce volumes. So it looks like there's some good news. There are some green shoots. If you follow Jason Miller, even though some of our year-over-year comps are not looking that good, there are some positive signs that the market is starting to pick up. And the big one, of course, will be manufacturing numbers. We need those to show some signs of improvement. But there's definitely a sense that the market is improving, which is great news because we've been in a trough for way too long.
Yeah, what's really interesting is the dry van line haul rates are pretty much following the same route as 2019.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, within a couple of pennies.
It just seems like it. Now, it looked like when you get up to the 151-day mark, that's when you saw a bump, and it started moving up. I'm really curious on whether or not it's going to follow the same path until that time.
Well, 2019 was also crap, guys. We got to remember that, right? Like 2019 was the year that nobody wanted to use as a year to analyze anything because of how garbage it was. So I think we got a lot of room still. And I honestly think that, these markets, look at that truck. Sorry, I just saw a squirrel.
Yeah, I love the color.
Yeah.
D&M Transportation from Edders in PA, your regional dry vanner. So it's a good point, guys. I think what we're starting to see is the exodus of capacity is starting to have an impact in the spot market. We've seen from the JOC index that Bill Cassidy puts out that large truckload carriers have had 4 quarters of fewer average trucks on the road, the public companies. Our next batch for Q1 won't be out for a few weeks, so we won't know if the big carriers have slowed down their rate of parking trucks on fences and slow rolling driver hiring. So those numbers will be very important. But there's a definite sense the market's improving, which is good news.
Yeah, something.
Let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah. I was reading something talking about Jason Miller the other day, and I wrote down some notes which I thought was pretty telling. He basically said here that there's a true structural shift back to the West Coast, and instead showing a regression towards the long-term trend, and that long-term trends are powerful and that it takes a tremendous shock to reverse the trend. Imports have invested heavily into transloading facilities at East and Gulf Coast ports, which means they will continue to use those facilities for long term. So, that's a telling story right there, that he doesn't see a lot of things happening, and it's gonna take a shock to the market to make things change.
Right. Well, because you've got excess capacity on the ocean side, you haven't seen any fundamental change in routings of vessels because of the Red Sea crisis and the Panama Canal. But Jason's right. There has been certainly a return of a lot of discretionary volume back to the West Coast because of the ease of getting there and the lack of congestion, and the threat of strikes on the East Coast.
True.
But we haven't seen the surge in volume that we saw during the pandemic, for example, on the West Coast. I think he's right. because, and we've reported on that before, there's a lot of investment in infrastructure. A lot of ports have been deepened. Going back probably 10 years now, the East Coast have been investing in infrastructure to get shippers freight into the East Coast versus the West.
They've been trenching those waters for decades now for that simple reason.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dean, keep us up to date on this show. We're really interested to see.
Please.
I'd love to see some pictures of the nighttime show. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Night show.
Yeah. Yep. We'll get you some of those tonight. I'll send you some over via email. Okay.
Yeah, definitely do that. And I'll make sure to post them on tomorrow's show. Everybody, have yourself a fantastic
Have a great time, Dean. Thanks, buddy.
See you guys. Bye, everyone.
Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversation,